Hey guys, sorry. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty. So let's pick back up. We talked about how he's solid like a rock, no reaction. For all the effect one saw, Odysseus only shook his head, continuing thoughts of bloody work. So bloody work, what does that mean? Yeah, he's thinking about murdering him. As he walked on, then sat and dropped his loaded bag again upon the doorsill. Facing the whole crowd, he said, and eyed them all. One word only, my lords and suitors of this famous queen. One thing I have to say. There is no plain, no burden for the heart when blows come to a man, and he defending his own cattle, his own cows and lambs. Here it was otherwise. Antinous hit me for being driven on by hunger. How many bitter seas men cross for hunger. If beggars interest the gods, if there are furies pent in the dark to avenge a poor man's wrong, then may Antinous meet his death before his wedding day. So he's basically cursing Antinous. So no pain, no burden for the heart. You can't blame or hurt someone for protecting their own. Okay, when blows come to a man and he defending his own cattle. So he's saying if you're defending your own, you can't blame them for that. And this last little bit, if beggars interest gods. That's kind of important. He's saying a curse. And he says he meets his death before his wedding day. So he's kind of right there suggesting that Antinous is probably the one that's going to marry Penelope, and he's going to kill him before his own wedding, which means that he will die alone. He won't have a wife. He won't have children to love him. He will die alone, and it will be sad. Then said Eupeithes' son, Antinous. Ooh, that's an epithet. That's a description. This is who his dad is. Enough! Eat and be quiet where you are, or shamble elsewhere, unless you want these lads to stop your mouth, pulling you by the heels or hands and feet over the whole floor till your back is peeled. So basically he's saying, if you don't go, we're going to drag you to death. So threatened him again. And it also shows that he does not care about the curse, that he's going to die alone. Doesn't care about the curse. All right. Here we go. Next page. We're almost done with this section. But now the rest were mortified, and someone spoke from the crowd of young bucks to rebuke him. So at this point, the others are scared. They're like, oh my gosh, you're going to provoke the gods. And they start to disagree with Antinous. Disagree with... Loading. There we go. Antinous. Okay. A poor show. So it wasn't a good show. That hitting this famished tramp, bad business. If he happened to be a god, remember, gods, especially Zeus, would often pretend to be travelers, which is why Greek value of xenia or hospitality is so important, because anybody could be a god. You know they go in foreign guise, the gods do, looking like strangers, turning up in towns and settlements to keep an eye on manners, good or bad. So again, like they're saying, don't argue with him. They are not agreeing. They're disagreeing with Antinius. They're warning him about gods pretending to be humans. Warning Antinius about gods pretending to be humans. But at this notion, Antinius only shrugged. Again, he doesn't care. He is so full of himself. He's not worried about the gods. Telemachus, after the blow his father bore, sat still, without a tear, though his heart felt the blow. Slowly he shook his head from side to side, containing murderous thoughts. So he's also ready to kill the suitors. Penelope, on the higher level of her room, had heard the blow and knew who gave it. So she knows, because he's so haughty, that it had to be Antinius. Now she murmured, "Would God you could be hit yourself, Antinius, hit by Apollo's bow shot." So she basically wishes that he would also die. So wishes death. All right. And almost done. And Eurynome, her housekeeper, put in, "He and no other? If all we pray for come to pass, not one would live till dawn." So that's saying everyone loyal to Odysseus hates these suitors. So everyone loyal hates the suitors. It's not just Odysseus. It's not just Telemachus. It's not just Penelope. Like, it's literally everyone that is loyal to Odysseus. Her gentle mistress, so this is Penelope, said, "Oh, Nan, they are a bad lot. They intend ruin for all of us. But Antinius appears a blacker-hearted hound than any." So he's the worst. He's the worst. With lots of exclamation marks. "Here is a poor man, a wanderer, driven by want to beg his bread. Everyone in the hall gave bits to cram his bag. Only Antinius threw a stool and banged his shoulder." So she has sympathy for the beggar. So she described it, sitting in her chamber among her maids, while her true lord, which would be Odysseus in disguise, was eating. Then she called in the forester, which is our swineherd, Eumaeus, and said, "Go to that man on my behalf, Eumaeus, and send him here so I can greet and question him. Abroad in the great world he may have heard rumors about Odysseus, may have known him." So she wants to ask if this beggar knows Odysseus. So kind of ironic there. It's dramatic irony. It's dramatic irony. Because we know that it's actually Odysseus, but she doesn't. All right. So she wants to know, I want to ask if he knows Odyssey. That's what she wants to know. All right. And that concludes the end of our first video.